On Friday, you'll get a chance to go and grab yourself many champions. Well, I think by like a gacha system. So Ultron, Iceman, there's Gwenpool, there's a few others as well. But Iceman is going to be an interesting one for a lot of players. As to, are you interested to awaken a champion? If you get him at 7-star, will you awaken him? Because of course you do more damage via your cold snap debuff. Is it going to make a difference? Kind of yes, kind of no. I think this will be a big choice for players if you're focusing on Iceman, but it's so difficult. We're going to be doing a video right now with showcasing some footage of the champion in action. I chose critical rating as a stat focus. Relic wise, there's a few other choices rather than Gambit, but you could use that. That's going to be an interesting one. The stat focus, which is amplifying the critical hits. So if we've got a critical chance increase, then it means that 70% chance to inflict a frostbite passive when you critical hit. So it kind of like works in with that, and that's the stat focus I would largely recommend for it. Anything that amplifies critical rating is normally like a good thing for that. And the champion in general, there's some good damage, especially if we compare the 6-star, which we will be in a minute with some of the footage. Mastery wise, if I was running this champion, I'd SP3 rotate in order to mitigate the extent of recoil damage you'd get, but largely go with a Liquid Courage Double Edge Mastery set because I'm able to do a lot more damage as a result and in general. Other than that, it's debatable whether or not the champion is as good, but having all those types of immunities and as well doing great amount of damage with no synergy, by the way. I'm not putting any footage together with synergies. But there's plenty of synergies out there that can maximize more damage off the champion. Whether or not you go Mutant, whether or not you go with like Korg and get Fury. There's others as well. But I'm largely floating around the champion in a generic sense for a lot of the footage that I've recorded in this. So let's roll some footage and I'll talk a little bit more about the champ. So let's go right into some action. I'm not going to do a huge amount of footage because I did want to do a one straight fight with the champion. Then we do a little bit of 6-star and 7-star comparison against Winter Soldier. Keep it light because at the end of the day I want to get this video done as quickly as possible. You can see here I'm going for an SP1 rotation. And one thing when I was playing around with the champion is I wanted to see about the extent of those frostbites that are able to, of course, do a lot more damage when they pop off, so to speak. At times, I was thinking about doing the heavy attack rotation. That's where all your frostbite passives expire instantly and deal an additional X amount of damage each, which could have been a better option, just to parry heavy. Simple as that. But the difficulty goes, if you've got the champion and you're using double-edged Liquid Courage Masteries, which of course you can see on the screen, are critting rather nicely, then your option with low health is to do an SP3 rotation, so you're not losing quite so much damage overall. Now, going into this particular fight, because I had to go through Red Hulk, yes, I was throwing SP1s like it was going out of fashion. Well, that's not the best way to be though with it, is it? Because of course you've got to rotate better than that. So you can see the ramp up is a little bit slower. If I was non double-edged Liquid Courage Masteries, maybe I'd do a little bit more damage on concentrating on an SP1 rotation, firing off with an SP2 when those energy damage is looking to expire. Because on the SP2, he consumes his armor up and gains X amount of attack rating, which can be very helpful. And maybe that's the thing. I should have been doing a lot more SP2 rotations than focusing SP3. But that's a difficulty, isn't it? That's the trade-off. Do you want to have more basic attack-based damage, which you can see here, or do you want to focus on an SP2, or do you want to do on a rotation of those frost bites expiring and doing a burst of damage? Those are so many thought processes you've got to consider when playing Iceman, and of course, moving around your mastery set. Either way, I was impressed with the just frontline basic damage that the champion was doing, which was very nice, and as well with having the stat focus, of course, helped in order to get frostbites on. So SP3 is the way. If you can go well with like a parry and then kind of go off the back of an SP3, or as well throwing a striker, you can have very nice rotations, or damage rotations, so to speak. So here we go with a little bit of footage in Realm of Legends. Of course, the I didn't do this in the last showcase, but I wanted to kind of like get an idea of, hey, how does a 6-star Ascended cope with the extent of damage ramp, especially if I was looking to do an SP1 then SP2 rotation, what is actually possible? And to be honest, they're not too far off. And this is 200 signature version of Iceman. So similar, not a similar situation, but similar situation in 200 signature, because the 7-star rank 3 is 200 signature. You can see that the SP2 damage, it's nice, but I didn't get a crit. Now, if I got a crit, would I therefore have knocked out the champion, and that 46 going into what will probably be close to 50 hits? Yeah, 50 hits. 50 hits to take down Winter Soldier. Is that going to be something that's going to be dramatically lower with the 7-star? Well, here's the surprise with it. So we go from 50 hits with a 6-star Ascended to the 7-star in action. The general rotation idea is just go close to an SP2, throw the SP1, and build up to an SP2, fire the SP2, and then see what happens. I get very fortunate with a very nice crit, but I don't know if this is the stat focus that's coming in and helping out a lot. We'll be able to see it in a second as the ramp goes in. We're close to the SP1. SP1 goes in, as we said. We're then going to go back, boom, and then get back in as well. Because we have we have the ice armor still up, which is nice, by the way, and that's going to be consumed and do a bit of a high attack rating. Now, coupled with the fact of this very nice stat focus, here's the SP2, and yeah, that happened. So yes, the champion does look very good. I think it's very much good for the 500k hit pool fights, and can be very effective in any roster. But there's a big question, isn't there? And that has been it for the video. Yeah, Iceman's good, but if you go ham for him, like, will it feel like it's worth it? It's difficult to say, because I do believe in the awakening ability, and I do believe in the extent of that extra damage that provides. But it is going to be a very much champion that I think some will like, some they may not like, and would prefer other mutants in its place. But still, it's good to see him as a 7-star, and he does a lot of damage with those double-edged liquid courage masteries. What are your thoughts on the champion? Put it in the comments.